for the size of the place.
Just skipped it, yeah. They moved up in front of us,
That's what we
didn't
called
they?
her. We knew she'd be the largest
go up
passenger
and
ship
down,
in the
look.
world, but we didn't call her Titanic then.
I was there from the beginning. I watched the shipwrights lay the keel blocks. They set out wooden blocks on the slipway to start with. Then the keel at top of that, like a backbone. And the frames attached to that, like a skeleton.
Workshops everywhere. It took weeks to find your way around. But the workshops for every
good.
trade you ever heard of. Painters, sailmakers, coppersmiths, boiler makers, cabinet makers. I even learned about
That was worth waiting for.
Harlowworth was a fine place to work, but dangerous. Every ship cost a life, and there'd be lots of injuries besides.
We've got
I was
right
in the
down
engine
there.
works for a while. Very well equipped it was. That's where we built the triple expansion engines. 2 of them, each as high as a 3-story house.
I worked in the frame bending shop. We had heat steel beams in the furnace, then hooked them onto slabs of cast iron and hammer them curved. It was skilled work. You had to bend them more than you needed because the frame straightened out a little when it cooled.
The shell plates that made up the hull weighed up to 4.5 tons. They were taller than the da.
The plates were overlapped on the edges. Some were raised, one after another. We called it clincher. One of the foremen told me years ago, that's how you build steel ships.
I worked as a heater boy. You had to heat the rivets on a wee plate. You pumped the bellows till the rivet was white hot. Then you get a hold of it with your tongs and throw it up to the catcher. And he put it in the hole in the plate to hold her up. There were 2 of us on the other side of the plate to hold her up. We had to hammer the rivet so it filled the hole before it turned dull red. The double bottom. That's a wee space we call the tanks, made up of steel plates. The rest of the rivet squad all had to fit into that gap. One of the foremen would check each rivet with a special hammer. If it made a ringing sound, we'd have to go back and chase it out after work. I'd get scared working down in that double bottom.
Oh, look at that.
You only had candles for light. And the constant hammering against the shell plates. You could hear it all over Belfast. Some of those boys ended up stone deaf, so they did.
Oh, that's my job, innit? Left-hander.
We were paid 31 bob a week. The heater boy and catchwork at 16 bob. But we all worked the same 54 hours.
Oh wow, it's the stern of the
The upper
Titanic.
deck was steel too, and part of the strength of the ship. There's no straight lines in a ship, and when you look down the weather deck, you can see the shear of her hull, but stopped her flexing at sea.
That's a propeller,
The
isn't it?
stern frame had to be strong enough to take the rudder and turning in heavy seas. You'd have all these timbers and guy wires to steady the frame, and men scurrying around like ants underneath. When we came to launch day, I was torn between pride and fear. The standing ways were coated in tallow, train oil and soft soap.
Whiskey and beer.
Would slide when they shifted their weight off the blocks. That was the most dangerous part. The shipwrights were knocking away the last props. They were under compression, you see, and the sliding ways would be released by the hydraulic trigger. 100,000 people watched the launch. Some paid a bob to sit in the reserved seating. There were extra trams laid on. Then we all went off to the pub to wish her well.
Doc, you were proud to be.
And the ship is quite the most luxurious I have been.
Could make you feel sick, but it's not going that fast to make you feel sick, is it?
No. Some other room should have been like this.
That was a bit too intense. It's too much.
Well, this is probably where it's going to hit now. Because it's getting dark. Isn't it?
I want to look at that floor though. I would like to see that floor a bit more depth.
Yeah, we'll go down the stairs. Look at that.
propellers are moving.
This going away from home will make me a better man and try and lead a good life.
See, they're going the other way, and that's going the other way. They're going the wrong way. They should all be going one way, because one's going reverse and one's not. Oh, the kid's going. Should we go down? Oh, it's a bit looking around, see everything moving, you're moving. Oh, that's very trippy. I could lay on that at night, just stand there. Everyone's around. I could sit in here all day. Here you go, this is where they find it, I think. Look at that.
Oh wow.
Wobbly. That's amazing. We need that in the living room. I'll get one, mate. The thing is, there won't be much of her left in a few years. She's actually. Here she comes. See it?
Yeah.
That's a break. That's how you stay.